I was so hooked on it. It's like, yes, I want to know what's happening. What's happening? What's happening? What is this great mystery as they travel across these various lands trying to collect these feathers of whatever or another. And now I just cannot remember any part of that anime whatsoever. There's even like, it's actually a storyline that crosses over with multiple storylines, and so I started reading the other manga that was related to it to catch up on it, and it was just absolutely insane at certain points. It's like nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Grand actions happen, and you're like, wait, what the fuck happened? What? Hang on, wait, I blinked and now suddenly they're on the moon? What? Huh? How did this happen? Man, I wish I could remember it. Ah, that was a good, like, 10 or 12 years ago, though. It's been a while. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that I've forgotten about it, because I don't know. It was one of those animes that were really big and popular at the time, and then just faded away into obscurity. Yeah, but, well, what are we doing here looking at YouTube? I heard a saying. I heard somebody say something about perhaps banning all gachas and MMOs. Maybe it is time that legislators get fed up with these gosh darn video games, these companies stealing away money and not paying their taxes, these companies not thinking of the children. Like, that's the best argument for anything, right? It's think of the children. Don't think of like the full-grown adults who can't manage their addictions and are falling prey unwittingly to the addictive tendencies of a lot of the monetization in games, and fear of missing out and manipulation, and just, whew. I can't even look at a game with microtransactions a lot of times if it has to do with like in-game power. Even cosmetics makes me a little bit queasy a lot of times if I think about it too hard. And so here we are. Wait, what? Europe is banning all gacha MMOs? Is this the time? I haven't watched this video, so we're gonna watch it and discover what this is about together. I wonder, I really wonder, is the GDPR actually doing something for the children? Much less for me. Like, I'm a grown-ass man. They don't care about me. They're just gonna be like, ah, fuck you. Well, then why did you pay the money? It's manipulative, and there's like no other games anymore. Games aren't actually just games. They're just there to sell you nothing. They're literally just there to sell you nothing. The game isn't the product. The game, oh my gosh, okay, hear me out. Games are no longer products. Games are an avenue for them to separate you from your money and provide you nothing in return. Because once they shut down the servers, it's all gone, regardless. For them to be able to sell you those items, it cannot be just a single player. It has to be one of those always online multiplayer live service games as a service products. They're no longer selling you a game. They're selling you a subscription. And not just a subscription where you get everything once you buy it. No, it's a subscription with no upper echelon of power. Anyways, I want to see this video. What is this about? Let's see what this is about.
Earlier this month, I covered an article from Games Industry on my other channel, where I post videos like this pretty regularly, actually, that confirm.
So this isn't the first video that this person has made about gacha games being banned. We already know in Belgium and Netherlands that it's not so much that they're banned, it's just that they have to label it 18 plus, and they have to say purchasing the in-game purchases that you make is gambling.
There were a grand total of 18 countries that were backing a report calling for countries to regulate loot boxes in video games. These include gacha games like Genshin Impact, Punishing Gray Raven, Azure Lane, Arknights, but more than that, non-gacha games like Overwatch, Apex Legends, League of Legends, or Lost Ark.
And the reason it's not just those specific gacha games is because all of those games, the purchases you make are not just, here's the item. Overwatch, you buy boxes with a random chance of getting an item that, of getting a skin that's rare and not necessarily the skin that you even want to have. Lost Ark, oh man, their system is so convoluted. I just got my head spinning because of it. Hey, Shade. Wait, is this a twin? Is this a twin of this character? Is your emote a twin of this character? Like, it's got different shaded eyes, but But yeah, like, Lost Ark is just, at the end of the day, you're spending it on boxes to get card packs, or on card packs, which is a randomized reward, or upgrades, which is, well, you may get the upgrade or you may fail. She who must not be named. Oh my goodness. Berzizes. Who is this? Who is this unnamed valiant soul? Or is it a dreadful... Wait, Fusion Echo. What the fuck is Fusion Echo doing? What? I thought you were dead. I thought you were... You're not dead? Hello. Okay, so... Yeah, well, the reason they're not saying specifically gacha games is because all of these games are banking on the fact that you can't get the item up front, and therefore adrenaline rush. You're not getting just the skin. You're getting the adrenaline, the endorphins, right? That's the one, right? The endorphins of like, oh, I got something nice.
This report, this decision by an overwhelming number of countries spells potential doom for the entire online gaming industry.
And 18 countries is not nothing. When you're looking at specifically Europe, that is a vast majority of countries from this area. Like, that's the equivalent of saying like 30 states in America. A little bit more than half, not 100% coverage, but still a non-negligible amount.
Within Europe, quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. This allows you to directly support us if you're interested.
Patrons
every
are
patron
what
will have their
people
name appear
live
at the beginning of every single YouTube video, and you'll be immortalized in the MMO genre forever. Now,
just wait until this guy has like on Josh Strife Hayes, where he has to like just shrink the names of all of his patrons down and down and down and down and down because there's just too many. And still listing them all. He said immortal. He did say immortal.
According to Games Industry,
as long as the internet stays alive.
Backed a report calling for loot box regulations, dubbing the practice of gacha games exploitative, and offering ideas on how they can improve in-game transactions. And you know what? Alright, I'll be honest. Loot boxes, gacha systems, they're all incredibly exploitative. They prey on people's inability to control their urges.
I hear a butt coming.
When Genshin Impact launched, Mrs. Sticks spent hundreds of dollars on stream and continued to waste hundreds of dollars every time a new waifu was released. This has a much worse effect on children as they don't fully grasp the concept of gambling.
Not only that, because it's not saying you're spending dollars, it's saying you're spending gems. They don't grasp that they're spending hundreds of dollars. They're just buying packs. It said, hey, look, you can buy this pack. Okay, I'll do that. No, you did spend $0, but you did become a body for their, what, 10 million downloads? You were a number of downloads that they could flaunt as success. Now, let's be honest, like, there's people spending 50K on Immortal. That game was a success. That game was a commercial success. The fact that they reused so many assets, the fact that so many systems were basically slightly repurposed, but for the most part reused, they have seen how low they can drop the floor and still make millions, billions. I forget if it was like, I think they made a few $1 million in just the first few hours. Anyways, there was also something else that I wanted to say. I forget what that was.
And this leads to instances like this.
There it
where
is.
Children spend thousands, tens of
$20,000 from a daughter
without even realizing it's a problem. The Norwegian Consumer Council has released a new report on the ongoing impact of loot boxes in the games industry.
The web page that lets you waste $25 per... What? What is this? I haven't heard about that one. Anyways. I know you can dump enough crests in the system for you to get... For it to be $20 per rift because you're putting 10 crests into it. Oh man. We can talk about Immortal in a bit.
Backed by 20 consumer groups
some things
in
to
18
say.
European countries. The report gives an outline of the history of monetization in games and how practices around loot boxes and in-game currency have evolved to exploit consumers. It highlights deceptive design in games, tricks that exploit cognitive or behavioral biases to incentivize spending.
Things that have... Oh, it's the simulator. Okay. 60,000 to get... Oh my god. Yeah, that actually sounds about right. Like, considering what I've seen from somebody, how much they spent on the game to get their gear and now their max gear, 60,000 is the mark. Is any game ever worth that money, that amount of money for a single person? No. No. That is literally an entire year paycheck for, depending on where you're living, one person or 50 people.
Loot boxes are also frequently marketed aggressively by advertising the possible rewards, which is also considered deceptive by the report, which is unfortunately very true. Every time you log into a gacha game, you're bombarded with endless banners showcasing all of the incredible looking waifu and husbando bait. Did you know that for the next 4 hours only, you can get these XP items, these gems, and in-game currency?
Oh my god, don't tell me that, Bearsees. Oh, Jesus, that's so much money. Oh, that is so much money. Like, I realize that there's some people that make that much in a week. Wait, that would mean they'd have a $3 million paycheck at the end of the year. There are very few people who would get that amount. I hope. I hope? I don't know.
At a 60% discount, but you have to act fast because after the 4 hours are up, the deal will disappear forever. And it works. Typically,
the fear of missing out. You gotta get it. You gotta get it now. Hot-minded people. They're trying to trigger that. The hot mind, where you don't have time to think and actually consider what you're getting for that amount of money. Oh, okay. See, I was thinking before taxes. After taxes, yeah, that's even more money. Jesus Christ.
Those separately, it might cost me over $10. But with this, $4.99, it's only one time, right? And it isn't going to put me out of pocket. Oh, hold on, wait. There's actually an even bigger package that could save me even more money. You get double the XP items, double the gems, double the in-game currency, but you also get various different gear upgrades and a 4-star hero.
Hell yeah, that'll boost me up so much. Why wouldn't I get this pack? 600% upgrade? 600% value? Hell yeah, I want that. I want that. I need this. This is gonna let me play the game so much more easily.
And it's only $14.99. Dude, this is actually a steal. Holy crap. And it expires in 1 hour. This doesn't leave me very long to contemplate my options. And that right there is just a single example, one that I've seen happen all too frequently. 2 case studies of particularly predatory practices are also included in the document.
And it's important to realize this. It's important, even if you can't do anything about it, it's important to understand what they're doing. And that's why these kinds of videos are valuable. It's for people to understand that they are being manipulated and how they are being manipulated, so that when they get introduced to something like this, you only have 1 hour to get this $15 purchase. It's never going to show up again, but it's such a great value. You should totally do this. They can know, okay, well, this is definitely trying to manipulate me. Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that after this one.
Details how loot boxes are implemented in FIFA 22 and in Raid Shadow Legends, and the problems that it presents.
Oh, FIFA is a very, very problematic thing.
And oh god, Raid Shadow Legends,
yeah, that's a great point, Shade. That is a great point.
Yeah, the game that paid YouTubers and streamers thousands of dollars to fly out to events, then proceeded to claim that they've never sponsored any creators. You couldn't have made a better case for suspicious malpractice.
To be fair, I feel like they've gotten a bit better about that. I haven't looked at any NDAs or any agreements for it for Raid Shadow Legends, but they're a lot more upfront about what they ask you to do, and they pay, honestly, a pretty decent amount.
And this is where things begin to get interesting. The report rounds up by listing several actions that the industry and its regulators can take to improve the landscape around loot boxes.
This is interesting. They're not just complaining about it. See, this is what a lot of people say. If you're gonna complain about it, nothing is gonna happen. So provide ways to improve it. Now see, they're gonna provide ways to improve it, gonna go completely ignored.
This includes banning the aforementioned deceptive design, meaning either gacha games that implement any form of loot box remove the feature entirely from their core, or cease distribution within their country.
I wonder if he's going to bring this up. All right, I'm gonna keep playing it, but I have a lot of counter arguments to this, and how problematic this is, especially if they don't give specific examples of it.
In essence, banning them, denoting all in-game purchases in real-world currency, meaning explicitly stating exactly how much money X item or Y service will cost. Not implementing loot boxes in games aimed at minors. This is more or less similar to the first fix by removing loot boxes from any games that are not aimed at adults specifically.
Okay, not gonna lie, this game that's playing in the background looks all right. Like, honestly, looks all right. Also, we are learning about what might be happening in Europe, what was proposed by 18 individual countries. Well, no, co-signed by 18 countries.
More transparency around algorithms that determine the outcome of a purchase. This is never going to happen. More enforcement around consumer rights in games, and you know what, neither will this, because These companies bank off of abusing their players and taking significant advantage of them.
But you, as a European customer, you have the right to know what data they have and what they're doing with it. They're never going to be able to ban them. Stress. This is hyperlative in the hyperbolic title of it, just to like, what? But honestly, they're never going to ban them because it's just, if they ban it in one form, they're just going to do it in another form. That's what I wanted to mention here. I think it's right around this part. Let me see.
Ends up by listing several actions that the industry and its regulators can take to improve the landscape around loot boxes. This includes banning the aforementioned deceptive design, meaning either gacha games, games that implement any form of loot box, remove the feature entirely from their core, or cease distribution within their country.
Now, this will never be able to happen. This is a terrible way to word it. This is an awful manner to have it work in this way, because Diablo Immortal already circumvents this. You're not buying anything different than what a free-to-play player has access to. The action that you're doing in the game is the exact same action that a free-to-play player is doing. You're running a rift to get loot. What you're buying is improved drops from that run. Therefore, not a loot box, not gambling. Right? Like this was something that was brought up years ago in, I think it was a podcast I was listening to, where they were actually like saying, no, we gotta get rid of loot boxes, we gotta ban loot box. And it's like, well, what if you're not buying a loot box? What if you are buying a ticket to fight a boss and this boss drops items? You're not buying a loot box, you're buying a fight against a boss. Maybe the boss has like 10 HP and you deal 1,000 damage, but you're still not directly buying a loot box, you're buying an encounter with a monster. And that's the kind of legal twistedness that we have to be careful when we try and legislate these things, because they can just change the rules. It's not like they're making slot machines. And the thing is a slot machine. You pull the lever or push the button, things roll, you have a random chance of getting the correct alignment necessary to get a payout. No, it's so much more than that now. And they can just be like, okay, well, we'll add this extra step. Yeah, probably in Netherlands. They probably did do that. And that's a way to get around it. They absolutely can remove the RNG factor of it. And you either buy a currency or you buy a material, and then instead of getting a random chance to get something, you just get the thing you want. But see, just saying you cannot sell loot boxes isn't going to work, because Diablo already circumvents that.
In essence, banning them, denoting all in-game purchases in real-world currency, meaning explicit.
This is very important as well. Like I said, Lost Ark, I am completely lost. Not in the Ark, but in their currencies. They have at least 3 different currencies. They have gold, they have a purchasable one, and then they have the normal in-game one. I'm just like, what? And then there's exchanges between those, between the players buying the stuff and selling the stuff, and it's like, huh? So it really obfuscates how much you're actually spending. And not only that, a lot of times the industry practice is to make it so that you can never simply buy what you want. You can never buy enough to buy the thing that you want. You're always going to be too short or too much. And so you have to calculate, do I want to get this box? Do I want to get this box? Do I want to get 2 of these lower ones to get enough? Or do I want to just buy the thing that's 3 times as expensive as what I need, end up with more currency, end up wanting to buy more random stuff, and so end up being short again on the next thing I want to buy, and therefore rinse and repeat. No, you're making sense, Stress. There is... I hate that Path of Exile has loot boxes in it, because you can buy just what you want, or you can buy the loot boxes. And the issue that I have with Path of Exile is you can't buy the cosmetics that are in the loot box outside of the loot box. You're forced to do that. Yeah, they've had it for years. Holy crap. The deal boxes are more expensive than the currency. So that's another manipulative tactic, I guess. Because it's so difficult to understand the value of a lot of things, because they have so many currencies, they have so many tabs to the shop, items are dispersed amongst so many areas. It's like, oh, wait, it's telling me that it's this great deal. I think I'll get this. Wait a minute. It actually only has these 3 items and these 3 items, and it's less than... Oh. Yeah, I'm very glad that it no longer gives duplicates, because why would you ever need duplicates? Oh, that's a good amount, yeah. Well done. Well done. The next thing is to do that consistently. I've sold some items for a chunk of change, but I've never done anything to maintain that as a consistent amount of income in Path of Exile, which is why I'm always poor and can never do my builds. Okay, so
stating exactly how much money X item or Y service will cost, not implementing loot boxes in games aimed at minors.
That should just be standard. Regardless of any other points, if you're going to be spending money to get something random, it has to be mature. It should not be targeted to minors. It should not be advertised to minors. If you are a minor, you should not be playing it. That's not going to happen. People who are minors are still going to play the adult games. I knew plenty of kids who were getting Grand Theft Auto bought for them and playing it. So it's like, at least a parent who's paying attention to the box or has parental controls on their phone or console will see that and be like, no, not allowed. Why is it mature? Oh, in-game gambling. Ooh, they need to be very careful about how they word it, because it could just be part of, like in Yakuza, you can go to the pachinko and play pachinko, and that's gambling. Oh, nice. 2 cards. That's a lot for 2 cards. Yeah, I think the most consistent way of getting currency is to learn how to craft very high value, easy to craft items. And make those and just have a pile of that for sale. What was the topic? Oh yeah, for minors. Yeah, so it can't be in-game gambling, because it could just mean you're going to the pachinko parlor in-game. It has to be, this game is gambling. And those very Christian mothers in America will be like, will not want their children to play that because gambling is a sin. It is the devil's work. Yeah, exactly. Like if it's just the video game, if it's just Monopoly money, that's fine. The problem is when it's real money involved, and it's people and it's kids being trained to fall into their addiction of gambling. That is a problem.
This is more or less similar to the first fix by removing loot boxes from any games that are not aimed at adults specifically. More transparency around algorithms that determine the outcome of a purchase. This is never going to happen.
This is happening though. In Genshin, people know the pity system. In a lot of games, they know the pity system. In Lost Ark, you know what your chances are of getting your craft as you're crafting it. So there can be transparency. It's just the developers are not forced to do it, and therefore they don't do it. Counter argument, this needs to be monitored and enforced. When the company says less than 1% and the actual chance is 0.001%, they need to be fined. And that has happened in Korea already. Oh, wow. I wonder if I've gotten that card before. I know I got a card that has an exalted orb as the reward, but I don't remember where it is, what happened. It's somewhere in my stash. I picked them up. Oh, nice. That's cool.
More enforcement around consumer rights in games, and you know what, neither will this, because these companies bank off of abusing their players and taking significant advantage of them. It adds that if these remedies do not alleviate the issues, the industry should consider a ban of paid loot boxes in games altogether, which would, as you no doubt feared, mean the removal of every gacha game, every game that utilizes loot boxes or practices rewarding players with random items, currency, waifus, and husbandos outfits for real money. If these alterations to gacha...
Well, why would it ban that? Why do they have to have that system in the first place? Why can't you just get your husbando? Why can't you just get your waifu? Why can't you just get the item that you want? Why can't they just have cosmetics on the side and then really, really good gameplay like Path of Exile? Why can't they just make a good game and not have psychologists? I think it's psychologists. Why can't they not have psychologists and marketers working together to carve out where the free-to-play and microtransactions are separated? Make a good system, and that's it. They won't make nearly as much money. It'll be like RuneScape when it first launched, where they're losing so much money because everybody wants to play the game, but they don't know how to earn enough money to sustain the game. Unfortunately, the easiest, most reliable way to make money is to run off of these predatory systems. And it doesn't, the sad thing is, to make money, you don't have to have a good game. It really doesn't matter. You probably can make at least some money from a really bad game. Or a reskin of the exact same game, like Idle Monsters or a bunch of those tower defense things. Exactly. If you're going for the thing that you want, but the thing that you want is randomized, then you're going to spend a lot more money. Also, when the thing is randomized, you have the absolutely piss poor monkey brain trying to determine your chances and telling you it's a 2% chance. You might get it. You just might get it. You just might get it. Like, just try it. Just go for it. You might get it. Roblox is all over the place. I can't speak too much to that one. I don't know everything about it, but I think it's... I would assume that how good or how bad it is up to the individual developers of the Roblox game. But I can't say more than that, so because I don't know about it. But yeah, like, imagine if they have Kazuha with a $500 price tag. No, 70. Would it be 70? Maybe 100. Oh, yeah, just like Starbound. Starbound did that as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's Roblox's fault or if it's the people making the games' fault. That is a rabbit hole I don't think we're ready to get into tonight. Okay. If you don't mind, we can talk about that another time. I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. I want to watch the rest of this. But yeah, like, it's a lot easier to sell somebody on a $2 box that has a 2% chance of getting what you want than it is to sell somebody on, here, buy your champion for $70. And then play with it and enjoy it. That's why they do it that way.
Gacha design do not alleviate the issues present, then it will be solely up to the individual discretion of the company to decide if the European market is worth the removal of a core part of what has made the entire gaming scene adopt this business model. Additionally,
is it worth the money? That's basically what he's asking. Is it worth making less money for the same amount of effort? League of Legends. League of Legends is doing just fine. They would probably do just fine, considering how many, like, a ludicrous amount of people are playing Genshin Impact. And considering how many people are playing Genshin Impact, they would have no problems.
UK is calling for evidence on loot boxes ahead of reviewing whether or not loot boxes are the equivalent of gambling, and Australia also has a similar proposal to this pending.
Wait.
For being seen adopt this business model. Additionally, the UK is calling for evidence on loot boxes.
There's evidence. There's evidence everywhere. We've had evidence for like 5 years now that loot boxes... People react to loot boxes the same way they react to gambling, and it has the same effect long term as people who are into gambling. Congratulations, Dras, for the end of the school year. Almost perfect grades. I told you you're stressing for nothing. You're a straight A student. You study hard, you work hard, and you reap the benefits.
Ahead of reviewing whether or not loot boxes are the equivalent of gambling, and Australia also has a similar proposal to this pending currently as well. This could lead to a catastrophic shift in game design and the potential ruin of many gacha games, including, once again, non-gacha games like Lost Ark or Over.
Why would it ruin them? Streamers are showing the evidence. Yes. Streamers are showing the evidence. Random people are showing the evidence for Diablo Immortal. When they say, oh yeah, I like gambling. There's no gambling in Immortal. Well, he just said he enjoys the gambling of going into a rift. He's equating going into the rift with crests to gambling. You... I expect better from you. No dessert for the entire summer vacation dress. No, 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 no. No, no, no. That's not straight A's. Not good enough. Anyways.
Overwatch or even League of Legends around the world. What do you guys think though? Because realistically,
I think I cut him off at
including once again non-gacha games like Lost Ark or Overwatch or even League of Legends.
Okay, I think League of Legends has... It's been a long time since I've played League of Legends. I think they have implemented some ways of getting skins and champions randomly in a much cheaper fashion. You'll eat it as breakfast. Oh my god. You're too smart, man. You're too smart. But again, why would it destroy these games? In what way would making this change just flat out destroy these games? What is it about the gacha system that is so core and vital to these games that if you replaced it with a way to just straight earn the characters, it would make it a worse game? I'm asking that legitimately. How would a rebalance to sustain your gameplay as a way of doing it without having to pay for randomized rewards, how would it completely break the balance? How would it make it so that those games are completely unplayable unless the developers choose to make it that way? Remember, up until a decade ago, these games were perfectly fine without this. What's the difference? What makes the difference? I'm rubbing my fingers together here. Money. Money. How much potential money they can get.
Around the world. What do you guys think though? Because realistically, is this necessarily a negative thing? Gacha and loot boxes have become so prevalent in this day and age that I feel as though some regulation is necessary at this juncture before things spiral severely out.
It's already spiraled
Out of control. We've all seen the various malpractices that, Cooney Crossworlds has been engaged in and bore witness to the horrendous state of Diablo Immortal. Heck, I knew people in Perfect World and Tales of Pirates over 14 years ago that spent tens of thousands of dollars on RNG packs to get the best gear obtainable in-game. And while I feel pretty strongly about monetization and business models in video games, I feel the same about play to earn, blockchain, and NFTs as well. We're letting all these predatory monetization models just decimate the gaming scene, and it's gotten pretty disgusting. If more countries do impose restrictions on practices like this though, we might finally see a positive shift in the industry. But maybe that's just me. Again, what do you guys think?
No, see, that's the difference. Gambling in casinos is regulated. You're not going to have a 10-year-old kid wander onto the casino floor and start pulling the slot machine lever. That's not going to happen. They're not going to let that happen. Why are they not going to let that happen? Because the casino would lose their license. They would lose their license. They would have to pay a fine. They wouldn't be able to do business anymore because it's so highly regulated. There's also regulation to ensure that the percentage chances of the machines are fixed. They're actually at the rate that they're supposed to be. There are people who go and their job is to test the slot machines to make sure that they're working as expected with the correct chance of getting the payout. Yeah, exactly. Whereas these things is like, hey, look, this game for a 10-year-old. FIFA. Hey, look, we're marketing it to kids. By the way, there's this system where you can buy packs. You don't know that your PlayStation is tied to your bank card, but it's withdrawing money automatically. Your 10-year-old kid doesn't know that, so he just thinks he's playing with fun money. It's like, do you want to buy more currency? Okay, yeah. I don't know. I didn't realize it was my credit card. They don't return that money. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest parts. Legitimately, it's think about the children. First and foremost, the best way to get the regulations in here is think about the children. Do you want to have a bunch of gambling addicts? No. The next thing is you need to ensure that the people buying these currencies, buying these packs, are getting a fair share. There's already been proven instances where the same pack of items was being sold to a person for more than another player. They are using your data to figure out what kind of an income you have and scaling the cost to where it doesn't seem like a big purchase for you. So if you're making minimum wage, they'll put it at $1, they'll make $1 off of you. If you're a millionaire, they'll put it at 100 and make 100. Oh my god, that is, oh yeah, that is one of the most egregious sports games. Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember when they first started to head in that direction, Total Biscuit was still around, and he just lambasted that game up and down. Like, how dare they do this and call it a sports game? It is absolutely pay to win with randomizations. Like, FIFA is exactly the same way. You want to get that perfect Ronaldo card. But wait, it can't just be perfect. It has to be ultra premium perfect. And now there's seasons, so that ultra premium perfect one that you got last season is no longer valid, and now you have to get a new roll of that same ultra perfect premium Ronaldo. And if you don't have it, well, I mean, you can still play the game and you can still PvP competitively. It's just you'll never get into the high tiers of competitive, no matter how good you are, because just the numbers just prevent you from doing it. You said something about Diablo that I wanted to comment on. Oh yeah. So you mentioned the deal boxes. An 800% value. Where's the 800% value coming from? It's coming from the cosmetic item that's in the box. How much is that cosmetic item actually worth? Whatever they say it's worth, because it's nowhere else on the store. They could say the cosmetic is worth 1 cent, sell the pack for $1, and if it just has that cosmetic, bam, 1,000,000% increase. Exactly, it's priceless. It's priceless. This is the only way you can get it. That's the other thing. This is the only way you can get this cosmetic. Such great value. Come on, just $1. $1. And we'll throw in some items for free. We'll throw in some crafting materials. Just for you. Come on. You want it, right? Come on. Come on. It's good for you. Don't worry. I mean, it's a reskin of the exact same armor from somewhere else. But, like, nah, no problem. No problem. Come on. Buy this. Buy it. You only get one chance. Don't you want it? This is your only chance. I could be doing that as well with the followers. Like, all right, come on, follow. Just follow. You know, this is your only chance to follow the greatest woof around. Be a part of the lounge. Don't worry. Don't think about it too much. Just press the button. Do it. Press it. If you're already followed, you're already part of the crew. You're in with the best of us. You know how great it is around here. You want to be a part of it, don't you? You want to hang out? You want to make friends? You want to become an elite? Subscribe. Subscribe. And you'll be a VIP in my eyes. Do it. Go ahead. It's cheap. $5. If you got Prime, you can use your Prime subscription anywhere. Go ahead. It's alright. I'll wait. Take your time. But don't think about it too much. Just pull the trigger. Yes, that was the other thing. The cheap purchases. Absolutely. Fuck. You probably watched. Oh, don't worry, Dress. I'm patient. I'm very patient. I can wait. I can wait for you to grow up. Oh shit, I sound like a pedo. But yeah, Shade, you probably watched the same video that I did about the guy at the conference explaining all of the tactics that they employ to separate you from your money. The hot-minded versus cold-minded. For you to not think about what you're buying and just think that you need to take that action. No. Oh God, no. 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 Never. If anyone ever says that, unironically, they're not sticking around here for long. Like, that is... Oh, that is nasty. That is so nasty. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the guy about, like, who was explaining, like, you gotta get the player in a hot-minded mentality where they see the purchase, they have no time to think about it properly, to debate it, to analyze how much it's actually worth. They have to be able to pull the trigger and get the purchase done without any interference. And to do that, first, you have to sell them something cheap. You have to sell them something at $1. $1. Just $1. Come on. $1, 800% value. There you go. And once you sell them that $1 purchase, you don't have to run through the verification of, are you sure you want to buy? Once you've purchased something, there's no longer any checks to say, hey, are you sure you want to spend X amount of money on this thing? Press of a button. Easy. Any kind of inconvenience between putting something in your shopping cart and checking out is a risk of losing a sale. And in these mobile games, there is no shopping cart. It's either you buy this or you don't buy this. And when you risk losing it, when you tell them you get this or you're never going to see this again, that makes the person so much more compelled to make the purchase. Probably 1,000%. I don't know. I'm throwing out that random number. But I feel like I've talked about this enough. The FOMO. Exactly. That's pretty much what I was talking about. You get this. If you don't get this, you'll never see it again. This is your 48-hour chance to get the starter pack, to get the beginner pack. This will set you on the right way. This will give you so much currency, so many items, such a well-established team. You should get this. It's a deal. It's a deal for 48 hours. Come on. Buy this. And then it disappears. And then you're like, oh man, maybe I should have gotten that pack. Maybe if I had gotten that pack, I wouldn't be struggling so much. So the next one that comes up, like, yeah, this one I'm getting. This new character, this new season, this new pack, I'm getting